We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by Cosmo09 Rachel Burt, who's home now and is not in person with me, because if you missed the reaction post-show live stream, she, Thomas, and I were in person, and we were broadcasting from Thomas's bunker, Apocalypse Bunker, and she's still looking down. My hand's still out. No, don't let go. Don't let
I'm
go.
texting Thomas. I'm sorry. What are you? I'm not. I
Okay,
won't let go.
I'm just kidding.
I won't be like.
She pulled a rose on your ass, and she just pushed you right off that door.
You know,
called her Kate.
But you know, ultimately,
I'll never let go. Bye.
I'll never let go. Sorry. But she's right, because Sharon D, aka Blazy Gardner.
Are you recording?
I'm not recording. God damn it! All right, we're gonna take it from the top once more.
I'm gonna forget what the hell we're here to cover.
Don't worry, I'll remind you.
To be fair, right? Thomas is who reminded me.
The Conwolf is on from Instagram is on here too. Thank you guys for coming aboard. But
wait, who?
Conwolf from Connie.
Oh, hi.
From Instagram. And
hello.
So we're gonna do this one more time. This is the most hilarious deep cut ever. Not. We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by Cosmom09 Rachel Burt. I miss you because we were reacting to the episode live on Sunday night, and I missed you. And if you missed that, you should go back and watch that because it was really cool. Bye. And then Sharon D, a.k.a. Blazy Gardner, and Bridget, ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. And today we're here to talk about The Last of Us' season finale episode titled Look for the Light. Now, do you remember what we're supposed to talk about?
I was gonna say that you need to change your intro a little bit because lately it's been most times we make you laugh and sometimes we go deep.
Yeah.
I think you need to switch that up a little bit.
We should just say news, laugh, deep. That's it. Moving on.
Sometimes we bring you news, sometimes we go deep, but most times we make you laugh.
So we should switch the order.
True.
Most times we make you laugh.
Right.
Sometimes we go deep. We don't like to go. If you keep going deep, she might not like it. It's Thomas, you proud of that one? Anyway. Thanks, Sharon, for that one. Thank you very much. Anyway, we're here to talk about the episode. Maybe. Right, Sharon? Maybe. We might not.
Actually, I have quite a few things to say about this.
I have several, which is not unusual. So,
I have none. I have no things.
lies and slander to yourself.
Awkward.
So first things first, there is some housekeeping that we need to do, interestingly enough, because for the longest time, it was... Not for the longest time, at least for 2 weeks, it was rumored that Bella Ramsey would not show up for the second season. And in the span of 3 days, no, 2 days, the news cycle said she may show up for second season. Because we were even talking about it on Sunday, right? And we were saying like, oh, it's so sad. They may have to, I know why they may have to switch her out because, you know, she doesn't look like it's 5 years later, even though she is 5 years later. She's 20.
Yeah.
So, but in the span of 2 days, they cleaned all that up. She is going to be showing up for the second season. Definitely the latest headline I read said, "What is going on there, Punky Brewster? What are you mouthing?"
It's in Discord, Tom.
Yeah, no, I emailed you, Tom, to twdfamily@something.com.
And Dave emailed you, Tom.
Yeah. I guess email doesn't work. Nope, who does email anymore? The olds do email. Right, Thomas?
Is it an AOL email?
It's the email.
It's twdfamily@aol.com.
Did you send it to me on the email?
I sent it to you at thegmail.com. Now you know it's fully
He also sent you a chain email.
Right. Now if you don't
And
send
if
it to
you
9
didn't
people.
forward it. You're gonna be in big trouble.
Oh my God,
Oh
Lois,
my God.
don't put your email in the chat again. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want you to get like malware from the email. Hey, Shaz62 on Instagram. Oh, that's Sharon. Sharon from Australia. Aw.
Hello, Sharon from Australia.
She says, "Oi, watch it, Dave." I still email. She's older than us, obviously.
I also email.
wow.
So does
the
Con.
shade.
We're all
shade.
old.
Connie's saying, "I feel attacked with the email comment." Well, see, we're all of the same age-ish. So
We're all the olds.
well, we might as well keep on reading comments. What's up, everyone? Lois says. Lois, did we satisfy your requirements for coming on time-ish? Even though we had to restart this episode 3 times. Thomas,
So you still messed up.
Thomas says, "Probably don't start till short a press record." And Thomas also says, "Do not use Discord." Thomas
Just
says,
so you know, Tom, I said that comment in the Kesha voice. I just want you to know that.
"Oh, it's true. It's true. I wish I knew I was invited, lol. Well, I wish I told you earlier. I meant to. I did, though. I actually told you way earlier, but he doesn't use Discord. And Lois, don't put your email address in the thing. Should I just look at my email? You sent it at 8:35. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was eating dinner. So Lois says you did good. Okay, thank you. See, Lois koshered it all up. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. And I want to clear it up, obviously, by going to the flashback first. Sometimes you have to start from the beginning, make your way through. But as I was watching it for the second time, finally, I really got a chance to be with myself and with my thoughts on how really, truly special it is that Ashley Johnson got to birth her character. And I mean, I'm not a trained actor per se, but there's something about like owning that character while you're playing it and always having a special place in your heart. Like you defend the character. We've seen this in many interviews. Like, okay, when we were interviewing Teo and we were saying justify Sebastian Milton's actions on The Walking Dead. And he's like, I'm going to defend tooth and nail, because that's my guy. That's the guy I'm inhabiting, right? And so it must be something special to be the person, basically Ellie's mother, Anna, and birthing that character into the world. That's just like another extension of the character she got to play. So, I don't know. Did you guys dawn on that? Did that dawn on you at all while you were watching it?
Mm-hmm. They talked, and I listened to some podcasts, and they talked about it a lot.
All right, she was on the Last of Us official podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Like the first thing I thought was she looks so familiar. It's driving me insane who this girl is.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up. She was on Roseanne. Like she was DJ's little over the top girlfriend in like the last couple seasons of Roseanne, and I was like, I knew I'd seen her somewhere. It was driving me nuts. So
she was like mini Roseanne.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
it was like a real Freudian.
Yeah.
Wait.
So she was basically like Ellie. She was like a little Ellie in training.
I'm gonna show you. Well, since I can do this right now, I'm gonna just. Who cares? Window. This is what we're referring to. This is the photo that you picked. I don't. Can you see that?
Okay. Here she is, a little baby.
Yeah. She was also in the movie 9 Months with Hugh Grant and Julianne Moore. She was Tom Arnold's daughter, I think.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dating me right now.
She had a crush on Hugh Grant. It was so funny.
I get it. I still have a crush on Hugh Grant.
So one of the things I noticed when I was doing the rewatch today was when she came through the woods and came out and saw the house, it very much was a reflection of the little boy at the very beginning after the 20-year time jump.
Oh.
The little boy at the very beginning as he walks through the woods and then like opens up the trees and there's the QZ, and then she walks through the woods and opens up the trees and there's the house. It was very much the same.
Really clever. And that was because you did this, what you didn't say, you watched almost the whole thing today, was it?
I left out 3, 4, and 5 because I didn't have time. But I watched 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Right, so you got to get that insight in.
I mean, not 5. I left out 3, 4, and 5. I watched 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Right.
So I was just looking. I mean, I'm not even anything that was major, but I just caught a lot of things. The other thing I noticed is So she of course lies to Marlene and tells her that the cord was cut before she was bitten. So she starts with a lie and we end with a lie because Joel lies to her.
Two people.
So again, we have the start. We have the start and the ending. She starts with her life starts with a lie, and then this segment of the game ends or show ends with her being the subject of the lie.
Right. And let me tie that in first before I say, "Hey, Steven, sorry, I know you have to go."
Hey,
but...
Steven!
Hi, sweets.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you haven't even gotten this far. He only got up to episode 5. And he just wanted to say hi. Hi, Steven. And bye,
Hi.
Steven.
Hope I didn't spoil anything. Sorry.
I think you're okay. I think you're okay for the most part. So the I like tying that into also Marlene, because Marlene is like, could have been kind of like Joel had she not given Ellie away to Fedra, but did so in order to keep her safe. This is my theory, and I'm going to stick with it. But she does this. She does this to keep her safe. The cure essentially safe. Maybe, I don't know. We don't know, but she does give her away. Well, and also probably to just make sure this kid has a life after her best friend sacrificed hers to have this baby.
Well,
so
it doesn't seem like.
Go ahead, Bridget.
Sorry. It doesn't seem like she really wants anything to do with Ellie. Honestly, it seems like it's probably too painful to be around her. And so I think it was more like, I just can't deal with this. I'll make sure she's alive, make sure she's okay, but I'm not going to be the one to raise her. I'm not going to do this.
Right. I thought the show did a very good job of, or let's say even, was it her name, Dendridge? What's her first name? The actor's name who plays Marlene?
I don't remember.
Dendridge.
I do not remember.
So she
I do not remember.
She did a really good job of making me feel sympathetic for her in a way, even though ultimately there is something about her that I can't abide in a sense, that she's so ready. I mean, I get why she is so ready to cut down Ellie for this cure. I get it. And anybody who has like a utilitarian sense of mind would as well. You know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. But at the same time, there's that, and there's also showing the struggle of that. And out of anybody on this show, even though we don't get to see all the losses she's endured, you have to figure that in an effort to try to keep some form of humanity up, right? That she's had to lose countless people along the way. And she describes it to Joel. She said, we lost half our people, and of the 5 that were just meant to protect me, we barely made it to Salt Lake City. Barely. And then you have to think of the beginning of the episode when they show this, the flashback. I mean, how many people of those people barely made it to the safe house, I guess, because Anna says, "It's me," like as though she's supposed to be there and she's supposed to meet up with other people from the Fireflies or whatever, or for their friends. But yeah, she's encountered so many losses, and it shows on her face. She's sick of this shit. She's sick and tired of losing people. Similarly to Ellie by the end of this episode. What was all this for if I couldn't provide the cure? What was all this pain and trauma that I endured? What was that all about? Why did I go through all of that? Like with Ellie, it's like a micro journey. And she's a kid, and we feel worse when it's a kid. But with Marlene, it's just countless 20 years worth of lives lost for a cause.
One thing I want to go back to what you said a few minutes ago, and in the rewatch, I noticed in the episode in the mall that Riley says she was recruited by Marlene, and she asked Marlene if she could bring Ellie with her, and of course, we know that she knows who Ellie is. So my guess is, she just put Ellie in the orphanage because she's like, this is, my hands are washed of this. I did what she wanted. I got her here safe. She's in the safest place she can really be, but now, sorry, excuse me.
So at the moment at which she was involved again, basically, is what you're saying. I'm trying to fill in the time in the gaps.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, so now she's they put Riley in the mall to make the bombs and to be a sentry or whatever. So I'm guessing they probably came looking for Riley, and they found Riley dead and Ellie bitten. But then she realized who Ellie was, and realized, well, look, she's got to be immune because maybe her mom didn't tell me the truth. So I feel like she had washed her hands of Ellie, when she put her in there. But then when Riley came back, she kind of dragged her back into it.
It's almost as though she's not even washing her hands of it, though, because while I agree with you,
so hold on, just to clarify from Sharon, when you say wash your hands of it, do you mean like get rid of, or like I did my job?
Right, no, I did my job. Okay. She's here safe, and now she's in Fedra. I'm not gonna keep tabs on her or anything like that. I did what I told her. I did what I promised I would do. I got her safe.
Okay, sorry, Bridget.
But then through Riley, she was reintroduced to Ellie and kind of forced back into her life through Riley.
Gotcha. Sorry, Bridget.
Well, it's okay. What I was gonna say is that, see, I was so afraid I was gonna lose it.
Damn it. So washing your hands.
Okay, no. Okay, so the interesting part about this is because Marlene is unintentionally putting Ellie into an oppositional position from her. She's like, I'm washing my hands clean of it. I'm going to put her in the orphanage. Well, all of that is run by Fedra. So what does Ellie end up doing? She ends up working her way up in Fedra. She would have maybe worked her way up higher had she not gotten bit, because she had bought it. Hook, line, and sinker, the whole thing.
Yeah, what else is like,
she was in.
Marlene felt that they would be, Fedra would be done. They would have overthrown them by then. You know what I mean? Like, this is 14 years later. Did they think it was going to take 20? Also, let me just say this really quick. No wonder they weren't able to overthrow the QZ if they can all be taken out by one fucking dude.
Oh my god, dude! Seriously,
he took out the whole fucking cell. No wonder they couldn't fucking overthrow Fedra.
Well, what stormtroopers these people are? What didn't she say? Didn't Marlene say it took? I brought 4 people with me and all of them died.
Right. Yeah. Super Joel.
And Joel does it with a little girl. Come on now.
It was all her though.
I can't.
But I believe it. Like when I saw the infected attack Anna, it really kind of reminded me how way superpowered, like OP'd the infected are. And then there's people, and which we've seen also, and they fucking suck too. Excuse my language, but they're awful. Raiders are probably the worst. But sorry, I don't know what impressionable audiences are watching this show.
What just happened?
Since when do we fucking apologize? We've said so much worse things.
Speaking of apologizing, you had your hand raised. Let's just keep going. But what did you want to say, Rachel?
Yes, let's keep going.
I forgot.
Okay, so yes, I kind of did forget, so I'm going to ramble for a second while I think about what it was.
Half the show is rambling, mostly.
We're so old.
We forget.
And then in 1970 flippity.
This is why I blurt things out and come off extremely rude, because if I don't blurt it out of my face, I forget. So yes, while we were watching, I 100% called these assholes stormtroopers. I'm like, why can they not fucking, like, Joel's coming around the corner and the guy like starts shooting into the door frame to like alert his presence, and then Joel's like, oh, thank you, I didn't know you were there before. Pew pew pew. Like, what?
I'm sure they were aiming for the door frame.
Last week, Pastor Dave was like point blank with Ellie shooting at her. He still missed.
Yeah, still missed. Also, I want to go back to the beginning for a second, because maybe I missed it. I do sometimes on first watches, but we don't get a whole lot of information about the relationship between Marlene's group and Fedra at that time. So is it possible that 14 years ago, they still believed in Fedra. Maybe Marlene handed Ellie over, thinking, okay, this is okay. Like they're still the good guys, or they're still trying to do good. And then it was later that she's like, oh, these guys suck and we need to rebel against them.
So I thought about that, and basically you're wrong. But
I usually am. It's okay.
Oh no. But here's the thing: you always come up with something that allows me to kind of bring up something that was in my notes.
Why? And then you can prove me wrong.
No. But more to the point that, like, okay, you bring up an interesting topic that I can say, oh, I thought about this. Oh, well, we'll talk about that in a second.
We'll get to that.
So I had actually written this down, and that's what is this? What are they doing out here to begin with?
Hi, Heather.
Sorry.
Right. Hi, Heather. What
Interrupt,
are they,
David.
What are they out here to what are they out here to do to begin with? Right? What is she doing?
We don't know.
We do.
Do we though?
Okay, couple things, and Sharon, you might know this too. Oh, well, she skipped the episode, but a couple things we picked up along the way in some of the episodes was Fedra obviously has no bones about population control, especially in the beginning, but throughout their reign on the QZs. If a baby is to be born in the QZ and it doesn't fit the allotment of rations that they have according to the ration cards, well, that baby gonna go. And so what we do know is that has happened. We don't know the degree, but she says specifically, we left Boston QZ to have, I don't know, to have the baby, but like they left Boston QZ and then a baby is being born and then they're supposed to go back. So
I thought,
And here's
that
why
they
you're
were-
wrong.
I thought that they were on a mission or something, and they were headed back to the QZ. Was my feeling on it.
well, let me ask you a really big question.
But
Why would you bring a 9-month pregnant lady on a mission? Right? If not
she's
to-
Ellie's mom. She's Ellie's mom. Why don't you try and stop her from doing what she fucking wants to do?
yeah,
I don't buy that.
Also, if they were they on their way? Was she on her way someplace else? Because Marlene
No, I mean,
literally turned
I
around
felt-
and still turned this baby in. So if rations were an issue,
I thought
Wouldn't they
that
have
was
killed the
like
baby
their
anyway?
that was their safe house. Like they're fireflies, and that was their safe house that they were hanging out at.
Right.
But what are you gonna do if you're a firefly? What are you gonna do with a fucking newborn baby? Like you don't have any kind of pediatric support. There's no fucking baby food. There's no one to help. You're on the run. What the fuck are you gonna do
well,
with a
apparently
baby?
they can do pediatric
So-
surgery.
But they're set up in a hospital, and I think that's bullshit
not the
too, which I
show.
will talk about later. But what else? What is Marlene gonna do with this fucking baby? So she
Exactly
takes it
what
to
she
an
did.
orphanage, and there's only one orphanage in the QZ because there's what. So that's where she had to go.
But we know
was-
they're happy to take babies so that they can indoctrinate them while they're young, right?
yeah.
So, I mean,
But you
win
just
win
talked
win.
about killing them for rations.
No. We're talking about population control. So you're not allowed to have a baby unless you have like a pass or a permit to have a baby. That's what
Okay.
I'm thinking. The mission was
So she ran away.
to
So
have
she ran
the
away
baby
to have the baby
in the safe house.
But then Marlene turned around and then turned the baby in anyway.
Well, I mean, you lost one of the population, right? So it's all
So-
kosher.
so-
And
Well,
Mom
and they
died,
don't know where the
baby can
baby came
stay.
from.
right, exactly.
They
Baby
don't-
doesn't need the same
They
kind
can
of food
they
mom
can
does.
take
No.
they can
They
take
would
the
have had
baby.
to.
They can take the baby to an orphanage and tell them anything. Their parents died. We
They-
found this baby.
They would have to smuggle her back in
Mhm.
because QZ entry points require testing, and she would have tested positive
Mhm.
because it's in her blood. So
There you go.
they smuggled her.
Which goes back to my theory. Marlene, well, we don't know that she had the cure. Obviously, she had said, "Oh, I cut the cord before I got bit."
Well, there's a
Marlene,
lot of things we don't know.
don't
We
kill
don't
this
actually
baby.
know their relationship either. We just know that they have known each other since they were young. We don't know if they were friends. We don't know if they just happened to go to school together. Like, I could see this guy, Will, that I was friends with in like 8th grade, but like I don't talk to him anymore. We follow each other on social media, right? But like I grew up going to school with this guy. If I saw him in the zombie apocalypse and we like ended up fighting together because you know him more. I know him more than I know like my next door neighbor because we don't talk to them. So I know Will more than I know my next door neighbor. Well, then suddenly that bond becomes strengthened, but it doesn't mean that that bond was initially there.
But do you really feel that way?
Fair.
We don't actually know anything about their relationship.
Well, not there's knowing and there's
Honestly.
feeling. I mean, the emotions that were kind of telegraphed across Anna and Marlene.
But how
suggest
many
certain
times
things.
have we talked about how an apocalypse accelerates those connections? We've talked about that a lot, like especially in The Walking Dead.
True.
It accelerates those connections. It's like you live a lifetime in the span of a month.
But-
So if they've been together for, since everything fell, then yeah, they're going to be super close, and more so than just the random person that you happen to survive with. You're going to be close to them too, but you're going to be closer to someone you knew before that. And it's just because
I can see that,
they
yeah.
knew
Yeah.
you. They knew you before the fall.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But what is that all to say though? Just to
Well, I mean,
bring it back
that's
around.
what happened with Michonne and
Andrea, right?
No.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. Okay.
Yeah.
you know,
Gotcha.
she knew her
Sorry.
from before, so it was all good. She was safe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or
So
so we thought.
I'm just saying that like there's so much about that flashback that we just don't know. And that's okay. It's up to you to create whatever little minuscule, relationships and storylines that you want to.
I have news for you. You're wrong, because that's the show. No,
Dave, suck it.
we're supposed to tell people how to feel
No,
all the
No.
time,
no.
right? No, right, Rachel, who looks dead in the face. No.
She don't like it.
Anyway,
She don't like
I-
it. You know what,
no,
Dave?
I-
you know what, Dave?
I-
You know what you need to hear, Dave? You're wrong.
You're wrong. No.
Everybody's wrong.
I
Let's-
definitely
not just
agree
me.
too, because the only thing we know for sure that happened in that flashback was that Ellie was born and her mom maybe died. Did we even see her body?
oh God, I think she was shot point
dang,
blank in
not
the
this,
head.
Not this. Not this again.
I didn't see a body though. Did I see a body? I still think Bill's gonna show up in the season premiere of the second season.
We didn't see. No, we saw them. Didn't we see them?
No, we didn't see the
definitely saw them.
bodies.
them.
But
No, we didn't see the bodies.
I think
Maybe they're still alive.
I don't know about
Bill.
they.
Maybe Bill's still alive.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah. Frank
Bill's alive.
If Frank is alive, oh God, like poor guy.
No, Frank's dead meat.
Is Disco.
Who is
Yeah.
Ellie's dad? Good question, Thomas.
I was thinking about that also, but that is something that's speculation land galore. But if you want to try,
Captain Kwong.
wouldn't that be funny? Anyway,
That's why he was pushing
By the
her
way,
to succeed.
I just want to clarify, this is indeed a promotional cup from a movie, but it was a drink cup. It was not a popcorn bucket. See?
Mm-hmm.
well, if it was a popcorn bucket, it'd be way bigger.
That's smaller than other drinking receptacles I've seen you drink from.
Oh,
this is
you
the-
literally have like
She
a casino
literally
bucket.
has one
There
with
it
a
is.
handle.
I see it.
there
now.
This is for
A bucket.
coins.
I said casino bucket. That's what I said.
Yeah, see, it's got a
It's a
Oh my God, it's literally the same size. Actually, yeah, it's
Isn't
about the
there
same
one a little
size.
bit bigger though? I
This
feel like you
one's
have a
bigger.
bigger one. I feel like
No.
you have an even bigger one.
I have a bucket that we use when we puke, but like that.
Did we do that a lot?
Not drinking out of that.
Well, don't get
that
those
one.
confused, right? Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh man, I want to read Thomas's comments so bad. Eliza just says no, and she says boom, because she's probably responding to some things. Oh, maybe about me being wrong. Anyway,
Wait, we need
Boom.
We need to go back
Boom,
a little bit. We
Dave.
need to go back a little bit farther.
there's
Yeah.
comments
can
that
you
missed.
do you? I don't have it on the screen. That's why.
I got
Oh.
it. I got it. Okay.
But Takira, you're late.
So one of these, Thomas says, one of these days, Dave will finally cut his Discord. And then he spelled my name,
Brexit.
Jet. Let's see your garbage pail sized cup of soda. That's a popcorn bucket.
That's the traditional Irish spelling of your name there.
Right.
Yes,
Which
yeah.
I
The
cut out of
game.
the audio podcast. It's so
Um,
boring.
Lois said agree, and I don't know what that would have been to at this point. I'm sorry, Lois.
I think
Thompson,
to all
thank
my
God-
insights, obviously.
Thank God for the
you're wrong.
pediatric ward and the big sign that pointed to where Joel had to go.
Next
By the way,
comment.
that's
Yes.
in the video game. It's in the video game, so that
just-
goes way back.
That just, I mean, I know we had to have time for Joel to kill 1,000 people, but like, why would you have the surgery so far away from where everybody else is? Why? I mean, if you need something that's in the pediatric unit, then fucking move that instead of having everything like this. I don't know. It was just weird.
It makes
why
sense.
is it way down here at the end?
Because I think Rachel's gonna say what I was gonna say.
There should be other operating rooms in that hospital.
No,
There should not be
there's
just one
many.
operating room.
there's a specific
There should be
reason.
many
though.
operating rooms.
It's brain surgery.
So
I mean-
that you can
So
do
you
brain
do
surgery
that?
in an operating room.
Imagine you suddenly hear like loud sounds. Ah! Oh shit! I just cut the cord.
Which
in
I
her
mean,
head.
I mean,
Right?
I don't know. I've never worked in a hospital, but I believe
Me
that
neither.
they're
Obviously, I haven't
operating-
done surgery.
There's like a suite of operating rooms that's all operating rooms. Like there's not an operating room in the pediatric unit and an operating room in the ICU unit. The operating room is down somewhere else, and they're all together. And like you take the people there. You know,
I'm
so
gonna-
like, why would you do it
In the
way the fuck out
hospitals
I'm
here?
gonna
I've
squash
been in-
this.
No,
I'm gonna
this is
squash this like right now. Does it matter?
It's
Really? I
just
have the reason.
annoying. It's
I have the
annoying.
reason.
Why?
I have the reason.
Why
It's
is this so
because
annoying?
they
Because
needed to set up a Punisher. You remember the recent Punisher with John Bernthal?
Yeah,
They
of
had to
course.
set up Punisher in the prison. They had to set up that scene again with Joel, where he's just like murking people left and right.
Talking about
It's like the
season
same-
two?
Like I said,
The start of
he
season
needed-
two?
he
Oh, yeah.
needed-
Yeah.
He
It's
needed
like the
room to
best
kill
scene in the whole
1,000
show.
It is.
people. I did like the way they shot that though, with the sound muted and muffled
And the high
Yeah,
with the pretty song
And
background
thank
music.
God-
soundtrack.
Thank God it went faster than the video game because that part of the video games goes on a really long time.
Right. You'd think there was like a whole
Anyway.
army behind them, right? Actually,
Anyway.
but no, it was also a good opportunity in the beginning as he's going to the theater, the operating theater. You had said the elephant, right? The little mural of, not mural, but like paintings of zoo animals. The monkeys, which another callback to, I bet it was monkeys that started the pandemic, right? But the monkeys were all doing the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. You couldn't make it out at first, but when I had it a little bit bigger on my computer screen, because it was
sorry,
it's-
your computer is bigger
There-
than Thomas's TV. I don't.
there
think
was
so.
also a polar bear. There was also a polar bear, so I guess that meant
I
they
don't
were on
think
fucking
so.
Lost Island.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
nod to Lost. Why not? Why not? What's wrong with
Yeah.
that, Sharon?
Yeah.
We have to go
Okay.
back.
Maybe
I'm
that's
gonna
maybe
keep
that's
reading
the polar
comments.
distance.
Okay. By the way,
Thomas
hi
said,
Heather.
How could you miss anything on the first watch with Dave being so quiet?
To be fair, you guys were answering
Judgment.
me, and we were all pretty excited to be together.
I can't say shit because I talk through first watches too. You can ask Sharon D. I talk. I'm making
Did you
commentary
just, Sharon, did you
That's-
just roll your eyes? Did
That's
you just
why
roll
I
your
watch.
eyes?
That's why I watch them first.
because I'm gonna
I
talk
watch
through
it
them.
first.
Meanwhile, I'm just as bad as Rachel. We're just going back and forth like furries. Furries. What are those things called? Furbies.
Furries.
Furbies. Excuse me.
Whoa!
Well-
a deep-seated confession.
Okay, of
You
all
caught
of
it
It
here
is very
first.
fuzzy.
of all of us, like, wouldn't it be Rachel and me that would be furries? Like, look at her head.
Well,
I mean,
you-
it's just a
you
living
heard it here
furry.
first, folks.
Look
There.
at his arm.
Obviously, yeah. Look at this thing. It's disgusting.
That's why Dave. That's why
I
Dave
live with
professes to not like animals. He's trying to hide the deep dark secrets.
I'm the real
But he
animal.
actually loves them.
Yeah.
He actually
It's because
loves
he's a wolf.
You did hear my confession though in the
It's
car,
okay.
right?
It's okay to love your pets. Just don't love your
Well,
pets.
we had like a whole conversation in the car about how, like, I hate that people have city pets sometimes because I feel bad for the pets.
Oh, that's
You know what I
great.
mean? And it just doesn't
We
make sense.
figured it out though. It's not the animals that David
It's the
hates.
owners.
It's the people that
It's really-
the people that it's the owners that allow their asshole pets to be assholes.
Yeah, that and like to not care
That's
for
how I
them
feel
properly.
about children.
I was gonna say it
Yes,
translates
yes.
over to kids too.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's the other
Same
thing.
for kids.
You know how I don't want to have kids, and so like when you treat your pets like, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm attacking most of you. I'm so sorry, really, I am. But
this is where we're gonna draw the line.
But when
Hard
you
line
treat
right
your
here.
no,
Continue.
but you might agree with me on this. But like when you treat them like
Nope.
babies,
Continue.
No,
right?
I don't do that. Gross.
There you go. So that's
There's
just
a difference.
and calling them your children. That's where I draw
No,
the line.
hard.
Sorry,
hard,
Sharon D. Maybe I
no.
don't know.
Oh, sorry. I call
Mark.
them my fur babies.
Fur babies. There's a difference.
They're my fur.
They're not flesh
I
children.
don't. I don't say this
babies.
is. This is.
Flesh
I don't say
children.
this is my daughter MJ or my daughter Sarah. These are my fur babies.
although-
I don't call them my kids.
Although on a drunk night you might, and I'd be okay with that. See, the thing is, I know you, so you slid under the wire, so you could get away with it. Like if I don't know you, I'll judge you immediately. There's comments, aren't there? You want to read them?
Okay.
No,
yes.
it's the name of
Heather
my emo
says,
band.
yeah, flesh children. She said it, and you guys just blew past it.
You
and
have.
I was just sitting
you
here
have
like,
to. You have to specify because Dave, being a robot, would not have flesh children. So you have to.
I wouldn't have any. Actually, I wouldn't even have computer copies of me.
You have little baby. You have like a little baby Bender with your little bottle of
Not even
beer
that. The
going
world
down.
is not ready
He just has like
for a little.
he brings a microchip
version.
on screen, and he's like, "Look what I had, guys!
It's a Raspberry Pi clone of me.
Look at my microchip."
I can hook it up to a big
why he
screen
said-
TV.
That's why he said Furbies, right? Little robot Furbies.
The robot.
But now you have it in your head the way Rachel and I sound when we were watching TV. It's like, oh, yeah.
Thank you,
Oh, okay.
Lois. Thank
And
So you
Thomas
two
is
are
Lisa.
just
very
like
angry.
You two are just sitting there going like, dude,
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was just,
Yeah,
and Thomas is
okay,
like,
cool.
all right, I'll join in on
That's
this.
super awkward.
No, he
Um,
was not. Thomas is like, "Shut the fuck up before I punch you both in the throat."
So speaking of Anna,
What
just going
happened?
back to the
See,
episode.
now I'm missing comments. Oh my god.
Well,
Okay.
don't get too wrapped up in that because we should move on because Anna.
Yeah,
is
we're gonna move on.
After the baby's born and Marlene's walking in, she's actually singing to Ellie. The sun always shines on TV by Aha. I don't know if you caught that. Did you?
I did not.
Okay. So the significance of that is actually twofold. One, it's Aha. We heard that in Left Behind, the episode 2 episodes prior. Second is that it's actually not just a spiritual sequel to Take on Me. It is, when you watch the music videos back to back, one is like a sequel of the other. So when The Sun Always Shines on TV starts, it's like the end credits for the first video for Take on Me. And what it's supposed to convey is basically the way obviously TV distorts our own reality. We always think things are always going to work out, and things always work out on TV, and it makes us delusional about our own lives, right? How we look at our lives and we think everything's great, or watch TV.
No, I don't.
Well, when we watch TV, we think at the very least it comforts us, in a sense.
Oh, so I can ignore my life.
Exactly.
That's what I'm doing.
Right. That's sort of the point. And then when you finally take a look at your life, you don't want to. Right? Let's
Yeah,
go
you're
back
right,
to
I don't
TV.
like it.
Right. So, but which is
I
to say,
just try to. I
in
just
TV
try
world.
to.
I'm just
I
kidding.
just try to equate my life with what's going on in TV. Like, if this is a parallel to my life, that way I'm living in fantasy all the time.
right.
Cool.
Exactly.
I like
Fantasies
that.
are better than real life.
Well, in terms of the show, though, what do you think that specific song is saying about the show? In a sense, like, is it? It's
It's 80s, Dave. 80s means
It's trouble, right? Okay, let's start with that. But is it more the thing that, like, the expectation that I'm going to have this kid and everything's going to be great, or is it also like maybe things don't always work out the way we planned on it too? Ellie wanted to go in for the cure, to do the thing that she thought was going to be her purpose, to save humanity. The thing we were saying every episode, right? And didn't work out quite the way she had wanted it to. Right, guys?
Yes, I'm sorry,
Yes.
but you said
We
the
Yes,
cure during
right.
it, and you didn't laugh,
Cure.
and I just couldn't handle it.
Ellie's going for the cure like she's going to a fucking concert or something.
I know. She's just really into Robert Smith, Dave.
I don't get it.
The Cure.
You just blew past it. It was like it was
was
just
so
ripe.
funny.
Oh no, there's a specific
Come
reason
on.
why I didn't really think about it because I was trying to make a point. You're just like
Schmoit.
not
We make
interested.
points on this show.
So what Lois said, so are you saying she knew she was going to die? Okay, that was the point I wanted to bring up. After going back and doing my
Who's
rewatch
she,
today,
though?
yes.
Ellie.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
I think
So many
Ellie
people died.
already knew she was going to die. I think after she tried rubbing her blood onto Sam and it didn't work, that she knew that she was going to have to. And then there, like I said, I saw all kinds of little foreshadowing things as I was watching today. Like
You mean that she would have to die, right?
that she would have to
Right,
die
right.
in order to do the cure. So like so everybody is
That's
saying
not
that
how that
everybody is saying that
works.
she is still okay at the beginning of this episode. She's still so down and she's so depressed and she's so quiet. Okay,
Traumatized.
first of all, this has got to be a couple of months later because everything is spring. They were in deep fucking winter,
right?
and now it's springtime. And I looked at it on the map. Salt Lake City is northwest of Boulder, and Denver, where they were. So they went back northwest. So
And they probably
this has
hold
been a
out
couple of months.
too.
This has been a couple of months at least. So kids are resilient, man. She would not still be that depressed and upset and so quiet over that. She would bounce back. I'm not discounting anybody's trauma. I'm just saying she's young, she's resilient, she's bounced back from Riley really quick. She bounced back from Tess really quick. I feel like she wouldn't still be depressed over that. But the closer they get to the city, the quieter she gets. And I think it's because she knows once she gets there that she's gonna have to die in order to make the cure.
Hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of little things throughout the show, especially after Sam, that make me really even think that even more.
Rachel, you had a face when that first started. Did you want to say something about that?
I can see how she might think that, even though, I mean, we had a whole discussion about this in the car as well. That's not how vaccines work. That's not how that works. She would not have to die. They wouldn't
Usually,
and,
right?
And even if she
Typically.
rubbed her blood on someone and it didn't work, like even if the cure came from blood, you think they're not gonna, spin it, separate it, do something to it. They're not just gonna take her blood and inject it into somebody else and then that's the cure. Like there's got to be more to it. So as a kid, I can see how she might think that.
Especially a kid with no access to any kind of education. Because there's no internet, there's no encyclopedias. What are they teaching them in school? They're not teaching them that shit. So like what the fuck does she know?
Well, the only reason why let me start with the sweet before I go to the sour. You got me to think of something that I hadn't thought of. I had attributed her mood in the beginning of the episode to the trauma that we experienced in the last episode, which, I mean, that's for us, really, rather than for her. But then you kind of explained, a significant amount of time has passed. Why is she feeling this way? Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that. Of course we didn't. We just watched the last episode. We're traveling really far distances in short periods of time.
Right. It's fresh
so
for
thank
us.
you. So thank you for that. And I'll go back to that. But why I don't feel that way is that she says in the episode, she says, I'll follow you wherever you go when this is all over.
So that was something else. But she said, and the moon. Like, you're not going to go to, like, I feel like she was like, no matter where we go, even if I'm dead, I'll go wherever you go.
Okay.
I think that was something else. That was another thing that stood out to me.
So wait. This is great. So right I could interpret it two ways and I'm totally fine with it. Right? One, Ellie too lies to Joel. Right? She knows that she's going to have to die. Right? Are you making fun of my fingers and pointing at things?
No.
What?
I made an E.T. reference.
He's so self-conscious.
No, I'm just feel like
making fun of my fingers.
No.
What?
My fingers. Leave my hands alone, guys.
The other thing is,
wait, let me finish my point. So, on the one hand, Ellie too could be lying, right? She thinks there's a future, or she's trying to get Joel to believe that there's a future, and like you said, but she knows she's going to have to die. But the other way could be just, yeah, I mean, she assumes that there is a future to be had, and so, you know,
I don't know.
You know what, you've got me on the line where I assumed that she thought there was a tomorrow, but now I feel like, yeah, it could go either way.
Well, the other thing is, after so many people have died, for her, you know, like Tess, Riley didn't necessarily die for her, but she feels responsible for it.
Well, she feels like there has to be a payoff for all this suffering, right?
She feels like her death would be repayment for all those people that died for her.
Right.
And she feels like she'd be saving essentially the world.
Then it'd be all worth it, right?
You know, she's
another point where the no education hurts.
Well,
because she first of all, she just agrees, yeah, sure, go ahead and put me to sleep and blah blah blah. But there's no guarantee that the doctor thinks this might work. Right? There's no guarantee this is going to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In these doctors, you don't know these fucking doctors. These are people you don't even know. You're just taking their word for it. But this comes from youth and inexperience. Even though she's experienced a lot, you know, it's like ingrained in people to trust doctors. Oh, these doctors know what they're doing. But you don't have the experience to know that you need to ask these questions or say, no, I'm not going to do this. Or no, let me see Joel first.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Not that they would have listened to her. They probably would have been like, nah, we're going to fucking kill you anyway. But what kind of doctors just automatically go into the brain without doing all kinds of tests and like, oh, it's going to work, so let's just cut into her and be done with it.
The kind of brain surgeons that are left this far into the apocalypse.
Well, there's also like, we don't know how long Joe's been.
They're probably veterinarians.
We also don't know how long Joel's been out too, by the way. Like how long he's been knocked out. We don't know if he's completely concussed and they have to work on him for a little while. So maybe they ran all the tests and like, okay, I guess we got to do this thing because let's get this cure ready. But it also goes to maybe Ellie's state of mind where she's like, can we just get this thing done? And because we have to assume, well, actually, maybe this is a good question to ask. Is that also to say that Ellie knew what was going to happen to her? That she was briefed? And even Marlene kind of says it at the end. This is what she wants.
Well, Marlene said they didn't tell her anything. Marlene says they didn't tell her anything. She went under happy and thinking she was happy. They didn't tell her anything that they're gonna fucking cut into her brain and kill her.
That was like the mercy that they were giving
even
her.
sells, which is it made me think
that
of,
made me mad.
It made me think of the little kid at the beginning where they don't tell the little kid, hey, we're gonna fucking kill you. We're gonna give you toys and food and medicine and new clothes and
who's just as bad as Fedra?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I want you to say it. I want you to see it.
Fireflies, the fireflies.
Thank you.
There are fireflies.
Also, ET phone home. Go fuck yourselves. I just wanted to get my point out before we went.
I'm not. I guess I should say I'm not saying she knew she was gonna die. That she knew she was gonna have to be killed for it. But I feel like she knew that was a possibility. And as they got closer to the town,
or you feeling that
quieter
she is
and quieter. Right. She got quieter and more distracted.
See, oh, that's the point I wanted to go back to. That was so the because you really lit me up just there, and I think there's a little bit like just like a kid going to the doctor, like maybe there's a little of that going on too, like how scared somebody is to go through all these tests, and maybe she's not been examined by a doctor to this degree before. Well, and maybe definitely she's never been tested, obviously, in all these years because she would have been caught, right? And so it's plausible to believe that she's never really seen a doctor at all ever, except maybe like routine procedures like BP and all that stuff, and just height still short, right, Thomas? And then so. I mean, yeah, it's natural for a kid to be like scared. But this was my point. See, you could tell I was rambling just so I could figure out what I was trying to say. There's also like the possibility, hey, will this even cure anybody? And there's also, there's been all this time and travels and trauma and pain and people dying leading up to this. Well, what happens to my life afterwards? And maybe that little small sinking feeling that as much as Joel and she has gone through, and that maybe he thinks even just a little bit that she's still cargo, just a little bit. You know how some people have stupid thoughts, like they're afraid, but no, but like that they're afraid that they don't mean.
I'm laughing because yes, every thought I have is stupid.
Well, but yeah, but that specific thought of like, maybe I don't mean as much to him as he means to me. And maybe when this is all over, what's going to happen to us? Right? Like, obviously they're closer, but it's not until here that we actually see him opening up, because maybe he sees that she's scared and maybe he's trying to lift her spirits. And as they get closer, and he's trying even harder, like Bridget says, like reaches an apex near the end where he's like being all, to her knowledge, is he's being so crazy. He's rambling on and on about his daughter and she's not saying anything.
Insane.
And it makes me, I don't agree, because I get that feeling, but see, obviously when I'm trying to talk, you guys are doing some weird shit. You're not listening to me. Why aren't you listening?
And then you become unhinged, Dave. It's like it's what everybody says.
I mean, everybody's entertained by this.
And
as long as you're laughing.
Without editing.
No. Maybe.
Then he cuts out everything we've done or said.
Then he cuts out all the laughing. And he makes us look like robots, just like him.
And then he puts the show out and he calls it the Squawking Dave. It's just Dave.
It's just him talking, and we're all sitting here quiet.
But what if I did do that? And we released another podcast hilarious. In parallel. You know what I should do? Okay, serious, but not serious, obviously.
April Fool's Day. April Fool's podcast.
We have a whole side podcast where I take all the edited parts out, and it's all the crunchy noises and the ums and the clicks and all the stuff that I chose to take out that's actually funny. And that's just a whole other podcast that runs in parallel. And people are like, I don't know what this podcast is about, but it's
the
fucking awesome.
Companion.
It's like ASMR plus.
Companion.
You know how like candy companies do like oops bags of like shit, like
this is Oops podcast.
Candies. This is the Oops podcast.
The Oops bag of
all the
podcast.
shit you cut out. Yeah, all the shit you cut out gets its own podcast. I bet we'd get higher ratings.
Guys, you have no idea the kind of crazy brain thoughts. Because I'm here editing, right? And sometimes I have to edit out some crazy, crazy shit, right? I had this fantasy once of just like, okay, guys, so here's what I edited out. Enjoy. This is what you guys do, plus me a little bit, because I'm obviously perfect.
Clearly.
This is the crazy brain shit that happens while I'm editing, by the way. Anyway, I've had that thought for 5 years. Just don't even know. It's crazy. This is what you do to me. But see, well, you know what love is? Love is never having to do that. I love you guys.
Aww.
Too much.
He just said he cuts out everything he said.
No, the clip. You want to know what I cut out? Mostly? Wait, hold on. This is
me.
This is Charity.
It's me.
This is her table, and Dennis is like, "Hey, that's TV." And then there's Rachel.
Wait, don't forget.
Nah, that happens rarely. And then there's this is gonna get cut out. Then there's Bridget. Wait, I don't want to do that
for
one.
The Oops podcast.
I can't do it, Bridget. That's not nice.
No, because it doesn't do it anymore, does it?
No, not really.
No, it was one time.
Occasionally, there's a.
One time.
I can't. I can't do it. I can't.
It's because I got too close
this
and the
one
mic was
time
turned
on the podcast,
and this happens.
And I like swallowed, and you could like hear.
Or like sometimes it's like the.
Oh my gosh, this is the best show ever.
Okay.
It doesn't happen anymore, Dave. I moved.
No, there's a reason why it doesn't happen anymore.
Like once.
You don't ever swallow.
He doesn't want me.
That's what she said.
Drink water.
Oh, and occasionally when you laugh, not even when you laugh, you hit the table and it goes like, but it goes.
Yeah,
it sounds like
that's what it is. That's what it is.
It sounds like a bomb went off. That's what it is. At least to me. Anyway, sorry guys. I'm so sorry. It was funny. It is funny.
Stop apologizing.
No.
We're funny.
All right.
We're
No,
funny.
but
There's
we
no
really
apology
need to get
necessary.
back.
I told you. Most times we make you laugh, and sometimes we go
Yes.
deep.
Sometimes we talk about the show.
This is why we don't live stream anymore, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
live
this
streaming.
is the reason. This is the reason.
Do you guys want to read comments before we continue so we can reset?
One quick little thing.
She's resetting.
I was watching the episode where they're in the mall, and we had talked about stores that were in the mall. There was one that I missed, which is probably the most important one that I should have seen, and that is Things
topic.
Remembered.
Oh,
Things Remembered.
I had that thought, but I didn't know what that
Oh.
was.
Oh,
we
what
had
is
we
it,
had one
Dave?
we had one in
Just
my
a
mall.
novelty of a novelty store.
You can get anything engraved.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what it was in my mall too.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Guys, I should have remembered that one because, okay, let me tell you how I should have remembered that one. Our first
Please tell us. Keep rambling while you think about it.
our first anniversary of Evelyn and I being together, not married, but our first date anniversary, I gave her an engraved picture frame of she and I on vacation in the Bahamas. I should have remembered that. That's why I was just like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah.
I know
And
those
thank you.
words.
That's why it's called
Just brought up
Things
a memory.
Remembered.
Yeah,
Well-
don't
Just
engrave
remember them.
anything.
That didn't work on me. Obviously, it went the wayside in the apocalypse. Things forgotten. Okay.
It's where they sand out your engravements.
Where they take out your
the
significant
eternal
other from the
sunshine
photo.
of- the eternal sunshine of the spotless.
The spotless
engraving.
remembered.
It's like a tattoo. You have to grind it out.
Right, you have to laser de-engrave it. Oh my God. You want to forget your loved ones? It's called
It doesn't
Photoshop.
look great though. It's just like lasered out in a square.
Right, because nowadays you could easily digitally remove people from photos, but like of course you go to a mall to get that done poorly.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, really? You do? Okay, well, sure.
Yeah, I do.
Duh.
I have things de-engraved all the time.
You were like, obviously.
What?
All right. Who wants to read comments? Because it's way scrolled past me. I could start with
Okay,
Takira,
so
but
for the most part, people disagree with you, David. Pets are like children.
you go to hell.
No, for children.
Wow.
For children.
Flesh
And then
children are
there's
better.
there's some flesh children jokes. David Thomas is gonna go watch Flesh Children of a Lesser God, or maybe he'll watch
Yikes.
Flesh Children of the Corn.
Bro, are you drinking a Four Loco? Sure.
Yes.
Heather's gonna leave to
Yes.
go hang out with her flesh child. Great seeing us. Goodbye, Heather.
I enjoy your flesh
Nobody's
children.
gonna go watch. Nobody's gonna go watch Problem Flesh Kid. What about the Good Flesh Son?
Oh,
What
no.
about
Oh no.
yeah? Thomas is gonna watch the Karate Flesh Kid.
Okay.
Takira makes a point to tell us that most times in movies or shows where there's a cure needed, someone has to die to get it. So yes, I can
Yikes.
definitely agree that she was feeling like she was going to die. That's why she knew Joel had killed everyone. Yeah, and then that stuff.
Some preferred jokes.
Thomas says David needs to phone home. Takira tells us Ellie's always been quick-witted and smart, so I figured she could read into that if she thinks hard enough about the situation. So yeah, like reality sort of sunk in the closer they were getting to the end game here.
It's
you know?
it's scary. And what comes after? Right? What does my life look
Yeah.
like after the cure? Where's my purpose
Thomas
go?
wants to see your silhouette in a bike basket flying in front of the moon.
Oh, will you be the one pedaling the bike? That would be cute, wouldn't it? No?
Dave covered in a blanket.
Big old Thomas on a BMX bike. I think we should do this. By the way, Thomas,
Oh
we
my
should do this at the
gosh,
camp.
I love it.
Anyway, let's keep going. Thomas also
Yikes,
says my favorite
now.
Flesh host. So
Aw.
yeah.
Aw,
Why didn't you read that? That was the goldest
Flesh
comment.
listeners.
I love my Flesh
I don't like
listeners.
I hadn't gotten
Saying
down that far yet.
I don't like saying it. I like the word flesh.
I don't think like it anymore. Yeah. It's too juicy. The
Squawking flesh.
Well, let's go. Let's keep going though too, because it's the giraffe that kind of perks her up. Continuing this thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it was explained in the insider of the episode or insider that it was. Well, it also
Lois.
it dovetails really nicely to what I said a little bit before, which was like what comes after stuff like this. Like there's more to see, Ellie. There's more to do. And so I thought that was a nice, beautiful thing, a beautiful moment. But what I wasn't looking at was Ellie as much as I was looking at Joel, that sign of relief that everything's going to be okay. And like, how many of us, I don't know. I do that with you guys sometimes. Like, like when I'm trying to make a point and it's not landing and then all of a sudden you start laughing and then I start to smile and go, everything's going to be okay. And then I realize they're not laughing at me. They're laughing at something Thomas said just now. Or something. And then I worry.
Actually, it was Lois this time.
Oh, okay.
It was Lois.
But-
Lois said, "But can Dave reach the?"
That's why Thomas has been employed as the Ellie. What was like Elliot? As the Elliot riding the bike.
Elliot.
In fact, Thomas might be a little bit too big for a kid's BMX. So, it's just age before beauty. But and of course the callback, the almost word for word, not word for word, but callback from episode 2. As they're watching the giraffes from a distance, it was the same as the Capitol building. You can't deny that view. Mm-hmm. Literally, Joel asking Ellie and Ellie responding the same way.
The name of the baseball field was Bethany Claire Field, and that was named after the wife of the guy who designed that location in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I love fictional locations named after people in the show, sort of. Yeah, because that's the woman he had to be away from while he was designing that baseball field. Because you don't know the game industry. Which, by the way, we had mentioned this basically when we first started podcasting. And that is, of course, part 1 of the video game has dropped on PS5. That's not what we reported. Most of you don't have PS5s. What we reported was that the game is already available via Steam as of 2 episodes ago. So if you don't have a PS5, download The Last of Us Part 1 on Steam. It is the remastered version, folks.
You can play it on PS4.
I don't even have that. And
I do.
Oh, you're everyone.
No, I'm just saying, like, PS4 is a pretty common game console.
Well, I mean, but you know how it is. Most people have something, and then they don't have it, and then there's the alternative.
Yeah.
I mean, Steam. You can get
Anyway.
Steam on a lot of things. It's not
You
just a
can get
computer.
both of the games on PS4. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But
Nobody has to have PS5 money.
Oh,
Because that's expensive.
Thomas is reacting. No, I just mean that you're bigger than me, Thomas. Just you can reach the pedals.
Is Thomas gonna make a Squawking Dead t-shirt with you in the basket?
Yes.
To be fair, I'm bigger than you.
I mean, I'm bigger than you horizontally, so. So you want to fight? I think I might win. I have a lower center of gravity. So, okay.
That's so weird.
I wanted to focus on that, but I feel like we're running out of time.
Well, can I mention that this episode was essentially a shot-for-shot remake
Of the game.
of the video game?
Yeah.
Just
Nice.
the dialogue is the same. There are like little bits and pieces that were different, but the dialogue is really the same.
The conversation
Down to
Joel
the
and
end,
Ellie had
too.
about him shooting, like trying to shoot himself and everything.
That I think was extra, right?
Yeah, that I don't recall. That
But-
I don't recall. but maybe it was. I don't remember. Um, it's a lot of it's a lot of gameplay, and I didn't do it. I just was watching it because I'm still not at this part in the game because I don't have time.
Why don't we focus on
But
that for a second, though,
thank God I have 2 years to play part 2.
as opposed to 2 weeks or whatnot. But let's focus on that one bit where Joel finally reveals, just like Ellie finally reveals. Ellie reveals her first kill. Joel reveals that that scar was from when he tried to kill himself, which is something that Ellie brought up in episode 3 long time at the beginning. And Ellie brings, Joel tries to bring up, she says, I killed someone too. I lost someone too. And she brings this up in episode 4. Please hold on to my hand. And it's kind of interesting to where Joel brings this up finally to explain to her, and maybe this is to soothe her nerves, that I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not trying to appease you for now just to get rid of you later. You cured, oh, I shouldn't use that word ever again. And as long as it's not the cure, but you healed me. It wasn't time. You healed. You're the one who healed me. I'm in this for the long haul. And so Ellie maybe brings this up at the end to say, Joel, I'm not going anywhere. Tell me the truth. And maybe that's what might make everything worse, the fact that he still lied, even after she said what she'd said about Riley at the end. What's your take on juxtaposing these two reveals that had been in the pocket for several episodes? Because they definitely connect, them withholding one of their darkest moments. Where is everybody in the head?
Just trying to think.
I know.
It was like a deep question, dude.
Because I still don't have a fully formed thought as to like how these connect precisely. Like, obviously Riley's, I mean, we'll say the love of her life at that point in time in her life, or early life, where she didn't know any better. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. And that happened, and it was terrible, and it was tragic on multiple levels. But bless you.
Bless you.
Well, I can only imagine. Okay, you have to think of what being a teenager and being in love is like.
I know. That's
right?
why I tried to.
You guys remember that.
I didn't want to diminish it, but I also
how painful it is, and if the breakup is bad, right? Like the breakup is bad enough. It's the end of your life as you know it, because you're hormonal and you don't know any different, because pain is relative, and you're not far enough into life to know that there may be things that are worse or different kinds of pain, and
or maybe it wasn't as bad as you thought it was.
but imagine having to kill that person.
Also, right. Oh God, it happened.
I mean, it's like, it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to it. Don't worry. Just, I don't want to stomp on Bridget's point. Jeez Louise. See, I'm trying to defend him. Was it Giraffe Flesh? Is that what you're stopping it?
Did you just do that?
What?
I can see the picture too.
Yeah. Bridget, don't worry. Just keep going. There. See, now you know how it feels.
I know, and I assume it's about me.
No, it's not. It's
It's
not.
not.
It's not
It
at
is
all.
not.
Which I am.
Does it really
Anyway.
matter?
You could
No,
see it.
because you were
You
trying to
can
make a
see it.
point and everybody ignored you. Sound familiar?
It's fine.
Poor David.
Someone's
Poor everybody. It's slowly happening across the board now.
Okay,
First Dave, then Bridget.
Okay, so you asked about that, and then you were
Yeah.
asking about. Are you asking about Joel's reveal of?
Of how he tried to kill himself. How does that line up? Because I mean, they're both revealing some big ass truths.
I mean, it's not so much a juxtaposition as it is him attempting to relate to her. She just went through something really hard, right? It's before she owns up to the thing with Riley, but she's gone through the thing with Riley. She's gone through this whole trip where Tess has died, Sam has died, Henry has died. Well, Henry killed himself in front of them. Bill has died. She didn't know him, but it's like you go to save this person or help them, and then they're dead. She's seen a lot of loss, and then she is kidnapped and essentially tormented by a real creep.
And
Now,
almost
if
raped.
there had been more build to that, though, I think maybe it would have sold her being upset for a long period of time. Like if that's, if I'm arguing like the opposite of what Charity was saying, right? That it wasn't her knowing that she's going to die, or it wasn't a fear of not knowing what happens after your purpose is completed or whatever. Let's say it's about the actual event. It's a hard sell because it went too quickly episode wise.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah, I think that's why we can quickly be like, yeah, she would have been like, I'm not saying she would have been over it. No, you don't just get over that stuff. But within a couple months, you bounce back a little, right? Like you're capable of kind of putting the mask back on, of being able to.
Ellie is not the person to stay upset and depressed. Otherwise, she would just be like that her entire life. She would have been like that after Riley. Kids are resilient. They bounce back. You can't keep them down forever. She's going to be laughing at jokes, and
it's all that mask building, right? Like we all do the same thing. We all, we hide behind humor, and because that makes it easier. If I can joke about it or talk about it openly and make a joke about myself or be self-deprecating or whatever, I can deal with it. I can deal with it more. It makes it easier.
Right.
And that's very much within Ellie's personality type, because that's the kind of goofy, silly Ellie we've seen.
Right.
We don't get that here. But anyway, so clearly it's Joel trying to more connect with her, I think, than there is any sort of juxtaposition. I think it's almost a parallel instead.
Well, yeah,
an attempt at a parallel.
Kind of like what we were saying in the reaction video. This is kind of like a role reversal. Joel is trying to get under her skin, trying to get her to perk up. Why don't you love me? Like Ellie did in the beginning. But which also narratively works really well to see the shoe on the other foot. But I think I can write this off in two ways. One is the easier way is to say what Mason says in the episode or Insider, which is kind of like, well, yeah, what time does, and he was referring to Joel at the time, but this can also apply to Ellie. What time does is it makes the pain fade into the background, sort of, in a sense. But it's always there. It's always accessible when something triggers it, or when you least expect it or suspect it. But the other way we can write it off isn't it like this series, in a sense, where feelings and events kind of goes to the song. What was it called? The sun always shines on TV. Things don't always turn out the way we expect. Our emotions don't come in a formula package all the time, and they don't always come when we want them to, and we don't always feel better when we're supposed to. Isn't it that way? Isn't life that way? Life is kind of messy. I mean, even this ending, I mean, there's that part of you, that little, hello, I'm here, that part of you that thinks that maybe what Joel did is wrong, in a sense. Like, well, there's getting Ellie and taking her out. And even Marlene offered Joel a piecemeal of, hey, give him, take him outside, give him this knife, and leave him on his merry way. But Joel, robotically, like Dave, murdered almost everybody in that building. Now, I wouldn't do that, but just saying, we're both robots, so me and Joel are the same. And so he, murdered everybody in that building. And so it's messy.
Do the people who live in your building know about that?
I tell them in our weekly newsletters, you are all dead meat. Sorry. I am the David from the last episode.
I mean, come meet the dead.
MEAT, right? MEAT, the dead.
As long as they shoot all around you and alert you to their presence and give you ample time to aim. And
yes, there are terrible shots.
You live in a building full of
all anti-gun liberals. I'm just kidding. Anyway,
I was just gonna okay? They don't have guns. What?
That's getting edited out. Definitely. Actually, the guy that would find it funny that might listen to the podcast might think that's funny, actually, but
why does the phrase dead meat like get to me now? It's like so
because we kept
dated,
saying
I
kid
think.
flesh.
It's
Maybe they
like
don't pair well.
So
Flesh
80s.
children.
And back to eating
it's so
children.
80s. I picture like Sean Astin as a kid saying it.
You're dead meat.
Dead meat.
Dead meat.
And then in this motion, right, where your hands,
Yes.
your fist is hitting your hand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
3:15
That or one of these.
at the jungle gym. Yeah, exactly. The index finger is cutting the audio podcast. Index finger is cutting the throat. Yeah. Sorry, you have to.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Sorry.
like this.
Where your index finger is.
You'll
cutting
never
your
know what
throat.
we were doing.
Like this
Gesturing from left to right slowly across the throat with your index finger.
Got it.
I love you.
I know you do. I gotta do God's work here, man. The robots gotta do God's work. Beep bop orc.
Thank God you're a robot.
Robots have a god.
Yeah, it's Bender.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Makes sense,
Oh.
right?
Totally. I totally
so
accept
quick.
that.
Oh.
That was
I
so
totally accept
quick.
that.
Oh, okay.
Kiss my
Obviously,
shiny
he's a
metal
robot.
butt. Anyway, so I mean, I wrote this down. It's worth mentioning. Maybe we could talk about it. But God, and this is why I feel so bad for Marlene. Marlene, yet again, has to rip Ellie away from another parent. And she knows it. This guy's got feelings.
What? I'm going to stop you right there. She has to rip Ellie away from another parent. Her mom was dead. Like, her mom was dead and dying.
I'm
and
not saying
she didn't rip
against her
She
will.
also handed her over.
She
don't
said
recall
she
her
shoved
her.
the baby
I
into
know.
her.
But what I'm saying is she has to take a child away from a mother. The child should be with their mother. This time,
You just called Joel a mother?
stop being so heteronormative. Says the robot.
Pedro Pascal
The
is
robot
clearly
called
a
you.
daddy.
No. Joel is short for Jolene.
No, Joel is Joel.
That's the,
No.
it's
He
the
just
real
identifies
twist
as
of the
a
story.
mommy.
He is
Mommy
clearly.
Pedro.
I don't know. I can't
He's
keep going with
clearly-
this. I can't even. But again, a parent, as what I said at first, and you see it in her face. It's like, oh, dude's got feels, and she didn't expect that. Cargo, and kicking, and then remember the first episode, throwing Ellie to the floor and kicking the switchblade away, and then giving this very same switchblade back to him as like a parting piecemeal. Look, thank you for delivering Ellie. We don't want to kill you. Get the hell out of here. And then
Thank you for delivering the beef to the door.
right. And
You're
Just
like-
call
you're
her
like
Omaha.
DoorDash.
Just call him Omaha Steaks.
He was like DoorDash. He should have taken a picture when he got there.
right, exactly. Please don't hand me the delivery. No, but also what added to that, because I was writing all this down, but that switchblade just like has traveled not only to Joel, not only to Ellie, but it was Anna's switchblade too. The very switchblade they give Joel, as if to not, hey, let's beat you over the head with this metaphor of me taking away this child from you again. Like, I know one was please take
people
my
are
child,
dumb.
right? People please take my child, and then there's please don't take my child. There's no reason for you to do this. I mean, obviously there is, to try to save the world, but when that kid's your world.
Did you really think Marlene was gonna like let Joel go? She's like, she even told the guys
don't know.
who was like, if he blinks, shoot him. Like,
No, you know how I know there's still time to turn it around at the end. Do you think she'd be so stupid as to put her gun down? But see, that goes to show how near the end, even she goes, we can still turn this ship around. Like, we can still work on this cure. And I don't know, maybe she was committing suicide. What do you think? But like, we can still turn this around. Well, she puts her gun to the side as if Joel, who just murdered tens of thousands of people, does that go to the fact that she wants to, well, let's just, in the games at least, But
I mean, who's the real fungus?
dude,
It
Sharondy,
makes me
wait.
wonder if like
What?
there's
Oh,
other doctors
oh.
someplace.
Wait, I wrote this down. Okay. The fireflies are an infection too, Sharondy. And I said, in a way, ideology is unrelenting and persists and wants to spread. And that's why Marlene can't see the forest for the trees at the end after Joel kills everybody in that building almost. Right? And then she still does this stupid thing that nobody does in the apocalypse that we've seen in every single episode and doesn't trust anybody. She trusts Joel enough to say, hey, we can do it. Her ideology is instructing her to do stupid things. You're a genius, Sharondy. Just because I'm a genius too.
I know it.
Sorry.
She never doubted.
Isn't that crazy though? It makes her do stupid things.
I insist you show my picture, Dave.
Yeah,
Okay,
you better
so
show that.
I think
I
Thomas is
looked at
begging
it.
for this picture to be shown. So we're gonna show the picture that Thomas whipped up really quickly, which I'm very.
Thomas, I made that.
Oh, you made
was
that? Okay, I'm
Jeremy.
sorry.
Yes.
I assumed because he said I'm gonna make a T-shirt. I thought it was him. Anyway, so hold on. Let me bring that up because it's not that always that easy.
Should
We
be
know.
giving Thomas credit for my shit.
Oh, I'll edit it out.
That's what I was
Sharondy.
doing. That's what I was doing when you were talking and nobody was paying attention to you.
This.
I answered. I paid attention.
So for the audio
Not very
podcast,
well.
because we have to do this, it is the very picture of Thomas as Elliot from the movie E.T. with his face on, very big head on, and my very big head as E.T. in the basket in the front, and it's just absolute perfect, and it's really good too. And
Can
obviously,
you please, this has to go on socials.
if you're
Like,
watching the audio
please.
podcast, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you can see this picture in the blog because it definitely will make it. So there you go.
This needs to be front and center on the Instagram page.
And I may
That
even
almost
for the
killed me.
audio
I just
podcast, I may for the audio podcast put the ET theme music too. Anyway.
Well, I'll be putting it on my. I'll be putting it on my Instagram.
No, we'll don't worry. It'll be Squawking Dead official, and it'll be in terms of promoting the podcast. Obviously, you dirtbags, because you're
You
dead
just
meat,
post it and you
dirtbags.
say, you want to know what this is about?
Kid flesh.
You better listen.
Exactly. Well, no, we should just post the picture and say link in bio, and it'll be it'll be the podcast. When is this? I don't care about this. Ew. You guys are a podcast? Who listens to podcasts anymore? Olds.
The olds. The olds that still use email.
Do you listen to audio podcasts? Bleep, blamp, blurk. Idiots.
Actually, I do. I listen to a lot of them.
You don't. You
I
don't
do
watch your
too.
programming in VR, augmented reality.
What? Those are two different.
Well, I'm
things.
usually driving, so that probably wouldn't work well for me.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be fun though.
No, but kids
But
can do both at the same
I
time.
do use VR.
When you're driving,
Yeah,
Yeah, because Bridget's hip and doesn't die behind the wheel.
I'm dead. I've died already.
meat.
I'm a ghost. Boo.
Boo. I identify as a
You're-
ghost.
You're haunted.
Deal with that. I don't know that I have
I'll
much
say
left
that-
here.
the giraffe scene also made me think of Jurassic Park. The original Jurassic Park when they're feeding
Yeah.
the big brontosaurus.
I said the same thing.
I think you did in the reaction video. Both
I
of you.
did. I just
You
said I
did.
did.
Sharon,
No, I meant
Jurassic
while we were,
Park.
no, I meant while we were watching
It's
the
Jurassic
episode.
Park.
I said, this is giving me Jurassic Park vibes right now.
an elephant.
Yep. Jurassic Park and elephant.
I kept waiting for the giraffe to sneeze on them.
Yeah.
Oh, do they do that? I think that's more like llamas, isn't it? Like
The other
Well, it
thing I kept
happened-
thinking of,
It
Rachel,
happened in
was
Jurassic
us
Park.
watching the Z Frank video about giraffes when his tongue stuck out. I kept thinking about that video we watched, the Z Frank video
isn't that how
about
they smell?
giraffes and how their tongues. No, that's a snake.
Or maybe that's an anteater too, right?
snake smells with its tongue.
It's gonna get cut out
They're
anyway.
they're very close. They're very close.
When I'm wrong, I just
cut it out.
Snakes and elephants are very close together.
Hey, really?
That way no one ever knows.
Let's take that out too. Just take all that's left is like a 5-minute clip. Is this the whole podcast? Take all the laughter and joy out of it?
Yep.
Oh no.
Just like these shows do to our lives.
Right.
Oh.
No shit. So, okay, there is something I did want to touch on, like for real. And that's many people think that Ellie's silence at the end means that she knows that Joel is lying. And everybody and their mother, including Bella Ramsey, is saying that the same thing as well. First of all, do you all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
And here's Sharon DC, yes. The robot wants an answer.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if she.
That makes me feel
I
a lot
don't know
better.
if she knows he's lying. I mean, she might think something is up because he's acting really weird. But
There.
You're just like my daughter. She's better than you in a lot of ways in school.
He's like babbling. Like, it's not the same. No, your smile's okay.
His like eyes get really big.
But she would have liked how funny you were. No offense. No offense. No offense.
No offense.
He's like, it's so funny because in the video game the lines are the same, but like
really?
he doesn't. Well, he doesn't. It's like the delivery is 100% different.
Which is better?
Like Troy Baker delivers them more like deadpan because that's how Joel is in the game. Doesn't show a lot of emotion and I liked. I liked Pedro's. Well, I like him for different reasons because Pedro Pascal is like so unhinged, and his eyes get bigger. And he's like, and he starts talking faster because he's just crazy.
I love it.
At this point. And so they're both good for their own reason. Because Troy's is like a little more like, oh, okay, like he's just chatting. You know, it's like it's a really short conversation. He's just trying to, fill the space with conversation. Whereas I can't. Joel in the TV show is just like, don't be mad at me, right?
Which I prefer because like
don't be mad at me.
It like triggers me because I feel nervous like this too when people don't respond to some of the things I say. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like it makes me want to talk more and like fill the silence in like like I'm doing now.
Make a compilation video of you doing this during the podcast.
No, that
it'll be 900 hours long. It will be 900 hours long.
Like most of our podcasts. 45 minutes is greater than 3 hours, Thomas. So, well, moving on that point, I kind of thought
stand up.
The easy answer to that is obviously she knows Joel's lying to me, right? But I happen to think that we can look at it a different way too, and that's imagine you went through all this pain, all this trauma. You saw people die, Tess, Sam, Henry, Riley, all these people that were sacrificed to get you to where you're supposed to go. When you got there, let's use this as an example, whether you believe it or not. She gets there. She's feeling kind of nervous. My purpose is coming up. My moment is coming. I'm nervous. I'm thinking about this. And Joel's trying to cheer me up with Boggle and all this stuff and beefaroni. You like beefaroni, right? Right? Okay, that moment's suddenly
You ever played Boggle?
Exactly. Like my eyes they're boggling
it's big
out of my head.
It's really big in Texas. My neighbor Peggy used to play Boggle.
You want to play Boggle? Super Mario Brothers? What movie? What movie?
What is
Boggle,
that?
Super
I don't
Mario
know.
Brothers?
Ghostbusters.
What movie is that? Damn it, Dave.
Ghostbusters 2, actually.
I'm so
I think
mad.
yeah. When Lewis is going out on a date with
Lewis,
Janine.
yeah.
Oh,
Taking
yes.
care of. Anyways, so then
Damn disappointments.
then
What kind of pop culture hosts are
But
we?
but I did remember the whole never mind.
Well,
It was
okay.
another game. It was another Ghostbusters thing from before. That.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
I'm going to talk more about Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. So that's getting cut out too. So I'm just gonna announce everything I cut out from the show, which now I can't because I said I would. Now it's staying in.
This is a Ghostbusters podcast now.
So imagine that you take that.
Who are you gonna call?
No, moments past. Imagine you take that purpose away from her.
Podcasters.
Who are you gonna squawk?
Squawk busters like you're being right now.
I'm gonna pee.
Well, it's because you drank a paint can worth of acetyl alcohol. Whoa. I better stop while I'm ahead. Everybody take a breath. Everybody take a huge breath. Okay, so imagine, if you will, that Joel says you're not that special, first of all, right? Joel basically says, oh, you're a dime a dozen. Literally, he said in a different way, you are a dime a dozen, or dozens, maybe a baker's, a gross, if you will. And he said,
A lot.
even despite that, there is no cure, and all of that pain was for nothing. Right? You got everybody on board? Yeah. How would you feel? Right? I brought the room down. That's what I do.
Well,
No, you'd feel great, right, Bridget? Terrific.
I'm happy to be alive.
No, I don't think she is.
No, I
in a
guess
way.
I get that. I get that. Well, and you have to account for like mopey teenage.
I would
feelings,
feel
right?
that way as a 44-year-old. Like I was meant to have this thing, to be this person.
Well, I mean, we talked about it before about Joel having purpose. You know, first it was Sarah,
right.
and then
Right.
and so now Ellie doesn't have. Ellie doesn't have a purpose anymore, but she does. There's always a purpose.
But
you know what?
that's where
you
the kid comes
you
in.
want to save. You want to save the world. Go and fucking do something good.
Oh,
Connie Dixon.
You want to
tipped
make up for all the bad
$12.
shit you've done? Go do something fucking good. Go back to Jackson and help them do something good. You know?
right. Well, let's
Don't-
first say, Connie, sorry, to Kira, thank you for the tip.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate
Takira.
it.
Thank you, Takira.
And you'll see
It was
afterwards.
the P. It was the P comment, wasn't it? It got you.
Yeah, there's a lot of she peed, so she paid us. That sounds
I didn't
weird.
actually pee, you guys.
Sorry, Charity. Go on. But as you were saying, the purpose is gone, and
I'm sorry. That was like 3 minutes ago. I don't remember what I was saying now.
It was literally 30 seconds.
oh, you said okay. You said just go to Jackson and do something.
She has a purpose. She
But,
says,
like,
just
isn't
do-
it-
do
Okay,
something
so-
good? Do something
But
good.
but Joel has a purpose too, and his purpose is Ellie. So Ellie's purpose was to save the world, and Joel's purpose is to save Ellie, whose purpose is gonna win out. And Ellie's purpose, Ellie, I'm sorry, but you have no fucking idea if that even would have worked. You're sacrificing yourself for something that might work. Like we just talked about a little while ago about, what the fuck do these doctors know? You're just putting your lives in their hands for a possibility that you might do something good. Why don't you stay alive and go back and help keep Jackson alive and have babies and repopulate the fucking earth?
Whoa.
Maybe Ellie, maybe you can pass along through your genetics.
Mhm.
Maybe you can pass that along to your children.
Mhm.
Well, let's say that but like, of course, she's a kid. She's not. Kids are notorious for thinking, and Bridget touched on this earlier. That breakup, that love of my life, that was the worst thing that ever happened to me until the next thing that actually hurt more down the line. Maybe a year later, that guy was the love of my life, or that girl was the love of my life. Right? And so she can't think that far ahead. She is just devastated from the jump. She's just coming out of this thing, out of her, literally, she's coming out of anesthesia. She's like, oh, what? It didn't work? I'm not special? All of this was for nothing? And I would be stuck on that for a while. What is left of me and all the shit that I went through? It was all for nothing. do I even deserve to
and
I
live?
guess I saw it all over her face that she
And
just didn't believe him. She
that's
she
what I
said,
assumed
Well,
too.
yeah, she
you
said
can marry those
she
two
heard all of
things.
that. She heard all of that, and then she went, "All right, that's the story we're going with." Okay.
Right. I'm just saying that that's easy, but I think you can marry those two things and come up with like a bigger answer. Like, okay,
Well, I think
it's almost too hard to believe that all of this was for nothing. So you must be lying, in a
I think
sense.
it would be, yeah, you could say that. I think there's also something there to be said for the fact that Ellie did have a purpose. She before all of this, she did have a purpose. She was going to work her way up in Fedra. I think we can all agree that she was on board for that. That was taken away from her. Now this was taken away from her.
Oh, right.
So any choice that she's had in like what her purpose will be or what she does with her life has been stripped away. You have to understand she's still a teenager, and that is like life altering stuff when you're that age,
Right.
right?
So now we go to Joel's lie. Right? And this is the worst thing. Sharon, your immediate reaction was, and I don't know, do you still feel the same way that you really hated what Joel did to the point where you don't want to watch the show anymore, like you said in the post-watch
All right,
last year?
no, I got over that. I got over the not
Okay,
wanting to watch
no,
the show.
that's
That was a
good.
knee-jerk reaction
No, and I like that. I like that we
because
can reflect on
it
that.
was gutting. Like it was like a fucking punch in the stomach to me that Joel would do that, especially when you have the growth where he went back and let her make the choice when they were in Jackson. You know, he gave her, she wasn't just cargo anymore, and now he's put her right back in this status of being cargo again without giving her any agency. And he's even worse is he's trying to hide it from her, which he's told us all along he's not a good guy. He's done terrible things, but we never thought the terrible thing would be to Ellie.
And we never really seen the depths of
and
where
after
he would go.
just winning her trust to the point where they're together, and he's gonna tell her this big fat fucking lie that she's gonna find out eventually. She's gonna find out that it's a lie.
They tend to
in some
reveal
way.
themselves. But I
And-
love the paradox of this though, right? This is a perfect paradox. Because he's lying to let me wait for that so I can edit that out.
Sorry.
He's lying in order to give her agency, in a sense, even though he's taking away some of her agency to make that choice, which Marlene, I didn't notice that Marlene didn't give her a choice. Thank you for telling me, because I had thought that she was on board. But he lies to her so that he can give her her agency, so that she can have more choices than just this. The no choices. When you die, you have no choices.
Ko-fi supporter tipped $12.
Lois
Love
just
you
tipped us
guys.
$12 also. Thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
Aw.
I love you too.
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you, Lois.
I mean, so much. I can't wait to see you both at the camp. Oh my God, that's so great.
Yeah, that's
Oh my gosh.
exciting.
But yeah, right? Isn't the paradox of
excited, but I'm
agency or the
very
paradox
tired.
of choice is once you're dead, you cannot make any more choices, right? And what is a father to do? When he's shown his desperation throughout the episode, Beefaroni, Boggle, you're not like my daughter. But that's not to say I don't like you, and then he's so desperate that he says he wants to put this to bed. Ellie, do you want a life or not? Do you want to see more giraffes? You can't beat that view. Well, you can't beat that view if you're dead.
Okay, I have
Right.
a question for you guys then. I have a question for you. All of you. Like, knee-jerk reaction, did he make the right choice or not?
It's hard to say, but
Yes.
Well, no, like yes or no.
I've come
I
around
want
to
a
it,
No, I
yes
though.
or
mean it was my choice. My choice in
To lie or-
to me, the choice that he made to save Ellie was the right choice. The choice that he made to lie was not.
Okay.
Yes. I
Same.
agree. He should
I-
not have lied to her.
I think I agree with him lying to her and saving her. Actually, I've
Okay.
really thought about this.
Well, I mean, but why lie? Because she can't go back. They're all dead. What fucking difference does it make now? She can't run away and go back to the Fireflies. Just tell her the fucking truth, because no matter what you do, eventually she's gonna find out, and that's gonna make it so much fucking worse. So just be straight up, Ellie. They were gonna kill you. Why sugarcoat it? They were gonna kill you, so I fucking saved you.
because she wouldn't
was gonna fucking
have.
kill
Because
you.
as a kid, she wouldn't have understood that decision at all, and she would
I
hate him
agree
for
with
it.
you guys.
But it's not about that. But yeah,
I think that he made the right choice in both situations, but it's innately selfish. I want to say that because it's not, yes, part of it is to save her, but I think part of it is to save himself.
sure. I think
having her
I can agree to
around,
that.
he is the new Joel that we know now.
Right.
Right? The Joel that's
Rachel,
coped through the death and everything and is crazy for
wasn't it Friends where they were trying to do a good deed that didn't benefit themselves, and finally Phoebe was like, she let a bee sting her because it hurt her and the bee died. So there was no benefit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
that's kind of what I was thinking. Actually, sort of.
Yeah.
I think.
So yes, Joel did it for himself, but he also did it for Ellie.
For sure.
He doesn't want her to be dead.
No.
Well, yeah.
What parent wants their child to die ever? Really? Period.
I feel like we would. I don't know. We would be remiss if we didn't.
I thank you for doing that.
Right?
Honestly, because it is a gradient too, right? Okay. Do you agree with him executing everybody and saving Ellie? Okay, let's move on. Do you agree with him
that
blind?
part was cool. So yeah.
Yeah. I had mixed feelings about that actually.
Remember in The Walking Dead when they had the big battle and they just sent Morgan in and he wiped out the whole. So like, Fedra just hired Joel to take out the Fireflies. I mean, you didn't need all these fucking patrols and shit. Just send Joel in there.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought you were doing the Chris Farley thing at the beginning.
Wait, which one? Hold on.
Because you were like, remember that time.
Remember? Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. No, but there's something odd about what you just said, and it goes back to the black and white theory makes purple, where you have diametrically opposed ideologies. Right. So, okay. So what happened?
Wasn't me this time.
No. So what happens?
She's lost it.
All right. Hold on a second, Rachel. Throw your phone across the room.
I can't.
No. You literally can.
I can't. It's a brand new phone. Why would I do that? Okay.
Oh, because it can take it. So.
Okay, go.
So you've got two. So they work a lot like a yin and yang, right? What happens when Fedra wins? What happens when the Fireflies win? It's almost as if they need each other to survive and coexist. In a sense.
Daenerys said it. It's one family on top of the wheel, and it rolls over and crushes everybody. One family's on top, then the next is on top, then the next is on top, and it just crushes everybody beneath it. So Fireflies are on top, then Fedra's on top, then whoever the fuck comes next.
Right, exactly. But in a sense, the wheel keeps on moving because of that. Right? And so why didn't the Fedra wipe out the Fireflies? Why didn't the Fireflies wipe out Fedra? Because they can't. They can't. They're part of the game. They're part of the wheel.
They're like the fungus feeding on the host. Both of them are like the fungus feeding on the host. And if they kill the host, then they die.
Okay. Now we're going to show you what Rachel is derelicting her duties.
Who did that?
Thomas did this.
Who did that to me?
This was
did
not
that to
me.
me?
This
was
should
not
be.
me. This was Thomas.
This should be our promotion for the camp.
No, it should not.
Put this on a
He literally picked the worst photo of me.
That is like the best photo of you for this poster, though. Actually, these are really good photos.
No, yours are great. Mine is atrocious.
You're literally
literally a picture of me hungover.
You're literally Winston Zedmore being like, ghosts again, right? You're the Zedmore.
No, the tagline on that post is, I woke up like this.
No.
Because literally that's how I woke up.
Somebody adjust this because it looks like Bridget was just slimed. And so that's what should be depicted here. But fix it so that it looks like Bridget is slimed, and she's like
I
not
am
happy about
so
it.
I am irate right now.
Oh,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't
So-
care. Post it everywhere. Post it
for the
everywhere.
audio
I love
podcast, who did this? Thomas. Thomas depicts us four hosts as the Ghostbusters on the poster of Ghostbusters 2. I look great, so let's just go with that. So, also, I'm right all the time. That's enough for me.
David, do you remember the one I made
Thomas,
years ago of us on the Law and
Magnificent
Order
bastard.
Sorry,
poster?
Rachel, what were you saying?
Sorry, I'm used to it. Remember the one years ago?
Now you. Oh yeah, that
Remember the one I
Nisa
made
made.
years ago?
Nisa made
No,
the.
I
You made
it.
that?
Shut your face.
The
I made it, and it was us on Law the
Law and Order
poster. Yeah,
Squawking Victims
but
Unit,
I was on Stabler's body,
Oh,
and he was on Benson's
I remember
body.
that.
which I really
Sure,
liked.
he was in that one.
Well, I also
Sure,
made
he
you
was
do
in
that too. I was like, please put me on her body.
Did you though?
I think I did. I insisted
No.
on it.
He meant in real.
No,
he
he
meant for
didn't.
real, not in the picture.
Yeah. I'll take it though.
I
Like,
want to be all over her body.
I get to look at this every day. Oh, Aiden says, "Can I be Stay Puffed?" No, that's Ghostbusters 1. We destroyed you in the
have to be
first one
the-
already.
You'd have to be the Aiden of Liberty.
Oh yeah, that works way better,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
You'd be in drag, Aiden.
I mean, the OG, right?
I love it.
All right, let's keep going with this. I don't think there's really anything left, and I really feel bad for you guys because I didn't
Gotta go
want
to
to. I didn't want it to go this long. But I'm really glad.
night.
I'm really glad that we got to crush this particular episode, and it's the series finale. And how are you guys feeling about where we're at? And I don't know when the second season is gonna even deign to come on the air.
2025, they said.
Oh God, just like Game of Thrones, as
Yeah.
innocent, or House of the
House of the
Dragon,
Dragon.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oof.
Yeah, we got
But-
a lot of time before the
But
shows come
Ted
back.
Lasso, the 15th,
And I'm watching The Glory.
and Lucky Hank,
Oh.
Lucky Hank, the 17th.
I'm gonna show this
And
because
Yellow Jackets on the 24th, I think.
all right,
24th?
Thomas updated the image according to my request,
Oh my god.
and we're
Oh,
gonna show it
God.
right now.
No,
And I think it makes more sense.
no.
Just trust me. This window.
I don't think I'm gonna like it.
No,
I
you're not gonna
think
like
I'm gonna
it.
hate
But she was
it.
just slimed, and there you go.
I look like Fiona from Shrek.
Oh my god.
No, we're gonna end the show like this, actually. Another bit of housekeeping that I should have said from the top. To satiate the fans for having to wait so long, but I think they're gonna release this next week. They're going to be showing a behind the scenes special bonus episode, basically, where I think it's gonna be like an hour long behind the scenes special for people to watch. To see, no, we're leaving it up. Sorry, Bridget. Okay, I'll take it off.
It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, post it everywhere. I don't care.
So look out for that. Look
fine.
out for that. For that
The
special.
way he's angled
HBO.
your neck, you look, you got some serious attitude going. You're like,
I don't like this,
like,
but I'll roll with
I
it.
do. I do have attitude.
Yeah. So Ted Lasso did just drop. The Glory is out too. The second part of The Glory, which I'm already a few episodes deep, and it's just fucking crazy. This is a Korean drama. You guys should check it out. And also Attack on Titan returned finally last week, and the first mega part of the
I
final
didn't
season.
get caught up.
No, it's a huge, I think, hour plus long part. I think it's a 3-part special. And so like it's one mega part, one
I'm still in,
movie
what is
length
it,
part.
Season 4?
I don't
season
remember,
4?
but
Was
it's
the
in
season
its
before?
last
Anyway.
season or last
I'm
special.
the season before the last season.
Ah,
That's where
okay,
I'm right
right. I don't know about anything else really, but anyway, thank you, Thomas, by the way, for that image. I really appreciate that. Anyway, they're awesome. Between Sharondy's ET, really nice, quick Photoshop, and Thomas is it's really good. So yeah, I think we really should end this, and I really thank you for all being here, and reacting to this episode. Thank you for your participation both on Instagram and on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else you guys are coming from. Because it really is important to us that you are attending these episodes because, frankly, even though The Last of Us is doing gangbusters, even though I think in some ways, I like The Last of Us. It is a little bit of a break from The Walking Dead, especially the pain of them ending the episodes, ending The Walking Dead. It is a nice little salve. It's an alternative thing to look at. But my point is that The Walking Dead numbers are so much more higher than The Last of Us, and so when you're able to make these live streams and able to listen to these podcasts, it really, really means a lot to us. The numbers are significantly lower, but it's the fact that it's still where it's at is because of you. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for helping us wrap
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, well, it's consolidation. The meat, the chaff is still there. I think, right? That's the good one.
The substrate, if you will.
It's substrate. That's not anyway. So, without further ado, I would like to say thank you. And then also, if you like what you've heard, head over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. 5 stars and an eggplant is all we need to know that you love us. But tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us what we missed. Probably a lot. But just remember to tell us at the end of every episode. And if you really like what we're doing, the best thing you can do to signal the way you like us is to head over to either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead and just follow us. It's a little signal that we're doing something right, and it will, when you follow us there, we'll post little behind-the-scenes messages that we don't post on social media, like including our recording schedules when we do go back to a pre-recorded schedule. And should you decide to tip us like Takira and Lois did tonight during a stream, or even when we're not streaming, you'll get access to our supporter back content on Ko-fi for 30 days. And if you want to take your support a little further, you can join a membership tier for as little as $1 a month, get access to our Discord like Aiden does. Hi, Aiden. I love you. And Thomas, even though he doesn't know how to use Discord. And you can also get our unedited episode recordings and some really cool behind-the-scenes specials, free stuff in the shop, obviously, and a whole bunch more. Just for $1 a month. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're insane. Why do we even do it? But in any case, I've been your host, David Cameo. I really hope you guys enjoyed this season of The Last of Us. I did very much. I did. It went beyond my expectations, honestly. I
did not think I would like this show that much. I really did not think I would like this show as much as I do. I really love it.
My reaction too. I'm surprised by my own reaction, actually. And Bridget's like, "Can we end this podcast already?" with the face. and of course, I was totally. Rachel still hasn't thrown her phone across the room.
I was totally
what are you
surprised.
Doing?
I liked Yellowstone too. So
I love you. Well, were you surprised by that?
I was very surprised that I liked Yellowstone.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, time to start Yellow Squawk. No, it's not Squawking Stone. It's Yellow Squawk.
Yellow Squone.
Squone. Yellow Squone.
So, thank you very much for joining us. And I've been your host, David Cameo. And I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt. There we go. And Sharon D.K. Blaze Garter. And of course, Bridget. ko-fi.com/Punky Brewster. That's PUNKYBRUYSETER.
But if you want to spell her name, it's like BKKJYFTDDCCST.
MOUSE.
It's like at Starbucks and you tell them Mark with a C and they write Kark.
Yeah.
Bridget, spelled.
Mark, we really like your band.
You mean Ponky?
Maybe.
Why does it say Ponky on my on my coffee cup? Anyways, we'll see you at the camp very soon, and who knows what we'll be posting about next, or live streaming about next. Boy, you should. Well, that's the easy one, Sharon. We want to bait the hook. Well, if you're following us on ko-fi.com/squawking or patreon.com/squawking, You may find out. Good night, everybody. We'll see you. We'll probably see you very soon. Remember to subscribe, like, and enable all notifications so you can find out. Bye.
And then I saw her face.
Not
believer.
Not a trace
Not a trace.
of slime in my mind. I'm in love.
I'm in
Ooh,
love.
I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
I would need her if I tried.
Tried. Oh god.
You say you couldn't eat her if you tried?
I wouldn't believe her at all if she looked like that. Good night, everybody.
I do look like that.